Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we'll see fifth-year quarterback Marcus Mariota and the Tennessee Titans as they match up with Deshaun Watson and the Houston Texans. With that, let's head over to the space city of Houston. Standing by at NRG Stadium, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, we are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. They do it big here in Houston, and a second ago it was a Texas-sized welcome for their hometown guys. They're fired up and ready to go as they get set to match up with Marcus Mariota and the Tennessee Titans. Hi again, everyone. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at this Texan ball club entering play here. They come in feeling good after back-to-back victories.
And the way they played last week defensively, you look at the tape, it looks like they had extra guys on the field, and they thoroughly shut down that offense.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Titans, whatever promise they had to start the season fully evaporated now as they come in losers of 6 straight.
And sometimes when you're in the middle of a losing streak, being on the road is exactly what you want. You can only depend on each other. Let's see if they can use that as fuel in this ball game.
Two teams here playing for pride as the final week of the NFL season is underway. This will be fielded at the 6. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Texans offense heading out, and it's Deshaun Watson leading the way, the third-year man out of Clemson. Last year, 26 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, but the big number for the Texans, he was sacked a league-high 62 times. They'll try to do better in this one.
What's up? Great team! Come get some. Come on here, come get some. Sign them, go! Sign them, go!
They'll start out on the ground with Jones. And that is the kind of tackling they want to see all game as he'll lose yardage to start things out. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13. We know this offense, they're built around passing the football. That time, the running game didn't suit them so well.
Not so well, but they have to do it every so often. You have to be able to control the pass rush a little bit, make them somewhat hesitant before they come and get your quarterback. At least have the illusion that you have a running game.
And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. It's probably a pretty good sign here on the opening drive if your guys from the secondary are coming up and spilling things in the backfield.
How about the adrenaline and aggressiveness that led his eyes to the backfield to run up there and make that tackle, setting a tone early for his defense.
And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line.
There's an example of good situational football being played by a defense. They understood where the third down play was, the down and distance, and made sure that they didn't get anywhere near that, bringing up 4th down.
Yeah, they were sniffing out that marker, didn't want to let him get close to there, and now a likely 3 and out to start.
Yeah, I love the way they rallied to the football and got to him and made sure he didn't give up much run after catch.
Come on, baby.
So now the Titans get their first shot on offense. They'll have a former Heisman Trophy winner calling the shots, hailing from the island of Oahu in Hawaii, Marcus Mariota.
And I'll bet right now it's just one thought in his mind.
Win the game, yeah.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. He played pretty well. I mean, he didn't turn over the ball in terms of interceptions,
no,
right?
2 touchdown passes last week.
2 touchdown passes, but when your team doesn't win, that's just hollow. And the best quarterbacks don't care about anything but whether or not their team wins.
And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete. Corey Davis, the intended receiver. And now it's 2nd down. And we roll now on the graphics for the offensive starters.
Let's take a look at the left tackle, Taylor Lewan. A big, gregarious guy with great athletic ability. Plays the game with a little bit of an edge. In fact, he doesn't play to the whistle. He plays to the echo of the whistle.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. A run through the starters defensively for the Texans. They were terrific a week ago in that victory over Tampa Bay, Charles.
And they needed to be, because that game was a game you don't see very often anymore. Low scoring, slugging it out in the trenches. One play can make the difference type of a game, and they got it done.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Throwing is Mariota. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
It'll be a net of 40 yards following a punt of 44. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. And now out comes Houston. The partner just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season. The playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position, and I know we talk all the time about the NFL being a passing league, but the teams that run the ball effectively, they're the ones that go deep into the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl. They have to upgrade here. And you and I both know in recent years in the draft, people have shied away from taking a runner early, but if there's that special one there, I say they go get him.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. And, he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a 1st down.
Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Faking the give. Now Watson. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down. And let's take a look at the Texans offense.
Have no idea what they're putting in the food in the Martin household, but they've developed 2 terrific offensive linemen. Brother Zach, a perennial all-pro at guard with the Dallas Cowboys, but Nick, no slouch at center for the Houston Texans. He sets the tone for their offensive line. He's the pivot up front.
Now Watson's throw is taken in by QT. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. And they've been excellent against the pass, the number 6 unit in the NFL.
And I think you're going to see some changes in the offseason, whether it's through the draft, free agency, maybe even both. They definitely need some help in the secondary.
The last play on the completion got them half of what they needed. Now here's a tough 3rd and 5. A shotgun snap for Watson. Over the middle, that's caught by QT. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 16 yards on that one, and also a Texan 1st down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Stop here, D. 2 times. We got
Watson on 1st down. Oh, he can't hang on. That was a dream chance for any D lineman to possibly get a pick. But instead it falls down incomplete. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. They tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on.
Pressure comes, and the Titans able to bring him down. The sack by Harold Landry, the former Boston College Eagle. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
Following the sack, it's now 3rd and long for Watson and the Texans. 3rd and long. ball gets Watson. Catch here, left side, Thomas. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
That's certainly playing down and distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
And this one is right down the middle. And it's now 3-0 Texans. No one attempted or made more field goals than Fairbairn last year. He was 37 of 42.
And they were grateful for every one of those that put 3 points on the board. I'll guarantee you Bill O'Brien, the head coach, is thinking to himself, we need to use them a lot less in 2019. Let's make sure we score some more touchdowns.
Tennessee offense making their way out onto the field as you take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Yeah, let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit better.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That too.
Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. Justin Reed, the safety, made the tackle. Now a fake on the give here as they try to run pass option. 16 yards, a first down.
Let's go, boys, bring it up.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Now a first-time 1,000-yard rusher from a season ago, it's Derrick Henry. A solid run on first down, gain of 7, leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
We've become so accustomed to it, you sort of take it for granted.
You really do, but he is so good that every team in his division, every year, is trying to make sure they draft people charged with trying to block J.J. Watt. So far, hasn't been too successful.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. J.J. Watt has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. Partner, we had their game last week where they had 6 sacks, so a little bit more momentum here again in the first quarter.
And last week it appeared that they were coming out of sprinters blocks, chasing the quarterback. So how do they continue that? How do they keep making it happen? Different looks, different disguises, different angles that they chase him.
They were so disruptive last week. We'll see what the trend is here as we go forward. On is Kern, the punter, to send this one away. And no return here. This one's going inside the 15 to the 12-yard line. Now we'll look at Kiki Cutie as he and the rest of the offense gear up to go again. Unless he has a Julio Jones-type 300-yard game in him that Julio did against the Panthers in 2016. Probably not going to reach 1,000, but still pretty good year.
I think you're right. It's a pretty good year for him, but let's face it, every receiver's dream.
Oh, and this ball's tipped and intercepted. Picked off by Logan Ryan. And they take over. They'll set up shop at the 46-yard line.
Oh, and that's a nice job defensively to get a piece of the football. He's going to pop it into the air, and then it's the tip drill. And good concentration by him to react to it and pull in the interception.
And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. And it's all come down to this, hasn't it? Final week of the regular season. As this year's playoffs play out anything like the regular season has gone, could be in for a wild and fun month of January.
And we can break the rules because we can look ahead. All right, there's not a coach out there that's ever said to their team, all right, let's look three weeks down the road. It's always right here, right now. Forget that. Think about what the playoffs are going to look like. The teams that we see that are already already in, the teams that are trying to get in, we could have some great matchups.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Here's Mariota. Oh, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle third. He couldn't catch it. Now 3rd down. The turnover put him in great field position. They don't want to squander it with 3rd down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. You don't see that a ton, do you? The cornerback coming over to the middle of the field to make a run tackle.
That's someone with a ton of confidence to feel like nothing is pressuring him on his side of the field. Sees that the ball's moved to the middle and just sprints over there to help out. He ends up getting the tackle. Well played.
3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. Here's Brett Kern now as he's on to punt for Tennessee. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. Set to take over again, Deshaun Watson and this Texans offense. He has not had the start to this game that he envisions here in the second quarter. He's struggling a little bit. But, hey, they're in the lead right now. So kind of what's going on in his head, do you think, Charles?
I think that's what he has to keep in mind. Winning the ball game is not going the way he wants in terms of his own play. But, oh, yeah, that's right, winning the ball game. So don't press. Don't try and do things outside of what's going on right now. Don't try to increase your game or get yourself right. Just make sure you continue to lead your ball club and keep them moving in the right direction.
Well, they've got that lead so far. 1 interception for him, no touchdown passes. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Nice job there defensively. A great time to dial up a blitz.
And give him credit under center instead of throwing it away. Actually a pretty good job of getting past the line of scrimmage, not losing yardage. Throwing again on 2nd down. Watson. And the Titan defense steps up here, and down he goes. Jarrell Casey with a little how do you do as he gets in there for the sack. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Following the sack, it's now 3rd and long for Watson and the Texans. Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. Open man is QT, complete. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. 3rd catch of this first half for him, and this one is a first down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Now a first down carry by Jones. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The 2nd down attempt there knocked down as it leaves the quarterback's hand, and it's incomplete.
You got to give some credit. They're able to hop up in the air and bat that one away, and that's frustrating for an offensive lineman because the only recourse is when he goes in the air to try and get some type of a pop or a shove, hoping to bring his arms down.
A gain of 8 and a first down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
They go back to the ground with Jones. And he's up over midfield and down into Tennessee territory. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in a shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Watson, off play action. And this is incomplete. Will Fuller was the intended target, and it's 3rd and short.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. Here's Watson, option left. He may try and run for this. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble. That one will go for 9 yards and a first down on the keeper.
Well, that was a big oops right there. But how about his ability to correct it? Loses the football, able to get it back himself.
Yeah, pounced right back on it, keeps possession. Took nearly the entire first half, but a first red zone opportunity for him here. 1st and 10 at the 19. Running right, Jones. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Offense.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Throw right side complete to Carter. No gain on the play there. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Flush to his right, and he slides to avoid the hit. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a 3rd down situation. He'd had some success as a runner previously on this drive, just not as much space there that time.
Yeah, this time when he pulled it down, they were ready for him, so I think he's going to have to fling a few in order to open up that running lane again.
And he's got the completion to Hopkins. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage, and tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
That's caught. It's Thomas. He'll get only 2 there, and it's 2nd and goal. 2nd quarter, 2 minutes remain, 3-0 our score. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. They'll run it with Jones. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch.
And he's in for the score. Touchdown, Texans. It's the fullback with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Texans will add on to their lead. And when the smaller guy can't power it across the goal line, Charles, sometimes you need to go with a fullback. They did. It worked.
What's that thing about force and mass? How's that?
Oh, yeah. Force equals mass times acceleration.
Oh, that's big-time stuff. That's from the same guy the apple dropped on his head.
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And the lead grows to 10-0. So that about as lengthy a drive as you're ever going to see. And the result, a Houston touchdown. This will be fielded at the 8. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. 13 games going on here in this final Sunday of 2019, the final Sunday of the regular season. 3 more games still to come following us. Raiders, Broncos, Cards, Rams, and Niners, Seahawks. And then we'll know the 12 teams who will continue on into the playoffs starting next Saturday here on EA Sports. And no pitch there and no chance either as he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage.
I don't think there's any doubt that if it's me, I'd be really cautious about continuing to call this play because you got to know, defenders, if they get a free shot at the QB, they want to take it, and they want to take it big.
And they got it there on the option play for a loss. Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. A well-executed 22-yard gain. Mariota, and he fires one incomplete. The intended receiver that time, Adam Humphries, and that'll bring up second down.
The one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Throw left side, complete to Sharp. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be 3rd down.
All right, partner, I wasn't good enough to get this done, but I played with plenty of guys who did. When they spotted wide receiver screen and they got to the football fast and blew the whole thing up, the same result as we just saw usually happened. No gain.
Mariota now. And that will be incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on first down. And it's something that's safe. It's something that's been done many times before. A lot of people say it's not even worth trying, but I'm running a draw. I'm running a screen. I'm seeing if something pops. And if it does, that can alter my strategy and potentially get me some points. And if it doesn't work, well, then you just run the clock out and go to the locker room.
So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17 as we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
All right, Brandon, thank you as always. Welcome into our final regular season edition of our Halftime Report. Playoff lives hanging in the balance as we take you around the NFL one final time. We'll kick things off with an AFC South matchup. Indianapolis traveling to Jacksonville. And it's the Jaguars who are out in front. The former Super Bowl MVP, Nick Foles, has a touchdown pass. From there, we'll head to Buffalo to check on the Bills at home in New Era Field. And it's the visiting Jets who have the lead in that one. The Jets seem to be on their way to what would be a good victory. Finally, let's get you to Baltimore to check on the Ravens at home at M&T Bank Stadium. And you can see they trail in that matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Juju Smith-Schuster, over 100 yards receiving and a touchdown catch as well. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a defensive struggle. Which offense can break through in the second half? To find out, let's hand it over to our broadcast team of Brandon Gotten and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on second down. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there. He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. And that's caught by Smith. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. First time they've looked his way in this game. He comes through picking up the first.
Like so many tight ends nowadays, they have no problem at all putting him in the slot and letting him go to work. And that's a nice pitch and catch right there for a first down.
A first down throw for Mariota. Throw left side complete. It's Grant. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. Despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. And they get to Mariota here as he's dropped on the sack. The Clemson product, DJ Reader, got in for the sack. You never want to give up a sack. And from the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it, but it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
A 41-yard punt, 9 on the return, and that will come the offense as they take over. So here's the Texans offense now. They get set to start this 3rd quarter. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
Jones, and he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up 3rd down.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Caught left side, Hopkins. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
Partner, this is one of the best routes anyone can have in their offensive playbook. Tough to defend because you think it's a go route, and then he breaks it back on the comeback. There's one other thing you need as well.
A well-thrown ball?
Exactly right. You have a guy who has some precision in throwing the football because of the timing of the route.
No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10.
And that's when it's fun to play defense. When you're able to diagnose a play right from the beginning, get all your guys to the football and spill the play, that's when you have a lot of fun playing on that side of the ball.
Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. So pin that one on the rookie right tackle.
Remember those days when the right side was simply the run-blocking side? Now you're doing some of the better pass rushers in the league. It'll make you a little jittery.
After the penalty, it's Jones. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays.
A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. picked off by Logan Ryan. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line.
I tell you, Brandon, it seems like this guy's been all over the field so far. That's his second interception of the game. And so much of playing defense in the NFL, especially when it comes to defending the pass, is all about positioning and technique. And this is fantastic work on both fronts there.
And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive. I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
Big stop, G. Big stop. Let's go.
On 2nd and 15 now. Mariota, and he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. The former #1 overall pick, Jadeveon Clowney, in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
They're going to set up the screen here. This is Grant. And all the way down to the 29. A big play there on the catch and run, and even 50 yards. Obviously, they're not where they want to be right now on the scoreboard. Big plays like that, though, that'll trend them in the right direction.
Yeah, a few more like that, they'll be right back in the game. And if they can continue to do that, maybe they'll inspire their defense as well. They'll get a few stops.
So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Working out of the gun, Mariota. He gets it to Humphreys. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. A shotgun handoff to Henry. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another 1st down with that run.
They keep it with Henry on 1st down. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. Nice job there on the tackle. Keep him to the short gain. And, of course, he got some good news this week. He was named AFC Defensive Player of the Week from last week's effort.
And part of the reason he got that award, because of plays like that. Not every play is spectacular. Not every play is for a loss. Make the plays that are in front of you, keep it to short gains, and you pile up statistics.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Mariota, blanketed coverage by Houston, makes it 4th down.
What a job by this defense all game long. They've come together and really said, no one's crossing our goal line, and they're definitely not going to start right now.
You can just see the dejection. Feel like nothing is working offensively. So they put together a good little drive there, but ultimately stalling out in the red zone.
Yeah, I know a lot of people look at it as a little bit of a negative. They didn't get 6 points out of it, right? Didn't get the touchdown. But that's actually okay. They got 3 points. It will give their defense a little bit of rest, let them settle down over there. So all in all, to me, that's a good drive.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Come on, baby. Let's see what you got. Line him up.
Looking to throw again on second down. Watson. Throw left side, complete to QT. 22 yards there, a first down.
Go! Let's go!
Watson now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Watson going to pull back the handoff and keep it himself. He's got Fuller. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect him to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
And he's going to have the hook up to QT. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. Well, this is how you shake the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me,
this is caught inside the 15. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. And chalk that one up as a gain of 34 on third down.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. A great play there. His second touchdown on the season, and the Texans will extend their lead. And there, the counter play proves successful for the touchdown. What typically makes a counter play in general successful, Charles?
But what you're trying to do, Brandon, is to get the team moving in one direction, meaning the defense, get them going in one direction, and then wall them off with your blocking and bring it back in the other direction. That way, you don't actually have to punish them with your blocking. You just position them. And if you have any kind of a good back, he'll take full advantage of it and gain good yardage.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
It comes, and he lost the football. Mariota had it jarred loose.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7.
Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. DJ Reader. And boy, possession here turns over with the football already being in the red zone. So they really needed points here in a 2-score game. Could not come away with anything there on 4th.
And while we know they're a little bit discouraged here, they can't check out of this game. You and I have called a good number of games over the course of our career where we've seen these types of situations. Teams get the ball back, and that miracle does occur. So they can't let that dream go just yet. They have to get stout on defense here.
Yeah, right now really hoping for a turnover. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. So the solid run on first, and I would imagine no real hurry to run that second down play.
No, it's all on your quarterback now. He's going to keep an eye on the play clock and bleed things down, and he's not going to...
And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. A great effort there. His second touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Texans will add on to their lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the numbers. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
This one taken just inside the 10. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Tennessee offense making their way out onto the field as you take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. Mariota and the Titans break the huddle, 1st and 10 at their own 27. Now left side on the swing pass. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Here's a throw that's taken in out of the backfield. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time, down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time, hopefully with a chance to win?
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
That's a gain of 4 as we slip inside of 4 minutes left in regulation. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Throwing is Mariota. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Covers that time by Aaron Colvin. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? You don't think about it much in a game.
It comes, and he lost the football. Mariota had it jarred loose. And the Texans scoop it. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call. That time, the right guard sending him backwards.
And so many different types of guys rotate in on the defensive line now, depending on situations. You can get the bulky guy, the fast guy. No matter what, though, you can't hold him.
The hook up on the right side to Hopkins. Nothing on that one. It'll be 2nd down.
Brandon, just mark that under the category of just not successful. Trying to throw the ball, just didn't work on that one.
Completed it. No yardage. It's complete to Fuller. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Now that was well defended, and as a cornerback, what you're taught when you see a wide receiver screen, either you get underneath the play before the blocking forms, or you're going to have to fight your way through it by getting through some blocking. That was a really nice play there.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. They've got a 3rd down now as they look for one more 1st down to help salt this one away. A good pickup there, 7 yards, but it brings up 4th down.
And after that type of a run, there's some talking going on down on the field, but it's not trash talking. The guy who just carried the ball, he's going back and telling his offensive line, great job, keep it up, and we'll break that one soon.
And did they keep it in? They did. They kept it in. It's down close to the goal line at the 1-yard line. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Did they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Not the start to the drive they were hoping for. That run doesn't get them much at all.
No, not at all. Not losing with 3rd and long, which means you've got to dial up something pretty good. Think your best player with a play that he likes to run best.
Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a 4th down.
As much as I praise teams for being true to who they are, in this situation, I wonder if maybe they outguessed themselves a little bit. 3rd down seemed like an obvious passing situation. They chose to run it and didn't get anywhere close to a 1st down.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. So Houston going to come away here with the victory. And it was their defense that led the way, allowing just 3 points, that lone field goal in the entire second half.
And remember the old adage, offense sells tickets. Defense does what?
Wins championships.
And in this game, maybe a championship wasn't won, but a game was by the defense, right? Held them to just a field goal. That's a heck of a job. I mean, when they went out there with that determination and a pretty good game plan, pretty good idea of what they wanted to accomplish, just love the execution, love the tenacity, love the way they finished.
So for Houston, it will wind up a .500 season as the win means they'll finish right at 8-8. And by just about all accounts, not the type of year they were hoping to have. Meanwhile, for the Titans, the loss here is their 10th of the season. And it will be a disappointing finish to the regular season, no doubt. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.